Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good morning. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this webinar, this exclusive webinar for our members, future members, and ACCA, prospective students in Iran, where we will be talking to you about your future in Iran with ACCA. We've got quite an action-packed agenda, and this webinar is entirely focused around ensuring that our members, future members, as well as anybody who on that career journey is deciding to get onto that get onto the program with us, where they think ACCA is going to be a right choice of qualification for them. This is about you, this is for you, basically talking to you about what your future will potentially look like, how we on this journey can be your valued partners through some of our resources, our contacts, everything that we've got available for you going forward. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to the agenda and the flow of the session today quickly, and we take it from there. So we will very quickly be talking about, I will obviously introduce you to the rest of the teams, and we've got a fantastic lineup of panelists today, some of our, members and high profile, high esteemed individuals from Iran who will obviously be talking to you about the value of professional qualifications, the future of accountancy as a career option, as well as, what and how they perceive ACCA to be going forward in Iran. We've got a Career Navigator session, which is going to be delivered by my colleague Danish Shamsi. Danish comes in with a lot of experience in the region. He is the regional business development manager at ACCA, predominantly looking into managing relationships with our members, future members, as well as our employers across the region. He works on a lot of research pieces that you basically find on our website. So Danish will be talking you through the Career Navigator section. He will be introducing the Career Navigator tool. It's a very essential piece of resource that we very, very recently developed. It aligns a lot to our competency framework. So I won't do much talking about Career Navigator, and I'll let Danish do. In the center, you see that's myself, Tahir Kapasi. I'm the Regional Education Manager for ACCA in the Middle East, and myself and my colleague Ahmed Bilal Manzoor, who's the Education Executive, we look into supporting a lot of our existing students, new students that join to the ACCA qualification by working with a lot of our partners, such as schools, universities, our learning partners across the region. And, through the efforts, combined efforts between us and our partners, we try and ensure that our students, who are basically our future members, are progressing through the qualification seamlessly without, having too many hurdles in their way. For the session that we've got coming up, which is talking about the future of ACCA qualification and the opportunities, this is a panel discussion, and we have a fantastic lineup of panelists, as I mentioned earlier, that will actually be talking to you through a lot of the questions that we ask them. They've got the experience, they've got the knowledge, they've got the ACCA qualification, some of them, as a firm support, and they will be the one to highlight the opportunities of the qualification, not just in Iran, but abroad as well. And I will bring on board our co-facilitator now, who's Mr. Mohammed Malik Mirza. He will be introducing the panelists and giving you a quick, short welcome. So over to you, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Tahir, for the perfect introduction. I would like to thank everyone on the panelists to joining us today. I'm just going to go rest in page and to just welcome the attendees. سلام عرض می‌کنم خدمت همه شما دوستان. خیلی خوشحالیم که امروز در خدمتتون هستیم. So the panelists today, they're all basically, most of them ACCA qualified. And then we have Ms. Hajar Rahmani, who's the FCCA, and basically she's the R&D Strategic Planning Manager in Bank Pasargad. Welcome, Ms. Rahmani, thank you for coming today. We also have Mr. Mohammad Gul Mohammadi, who is also an FCCA, and he's the Network Finance Manager in MTN Iran Cell. We don't have his camera yet, but he can hear us very well. Welcome, Mr. Mohammadi, and thank you for being with us today. We also have Ms. Farnaz Haratian, who is the ACCA, and she's the Finance Manager in Snap Group. And we also have Dr. Farzam Zamani. The students in Iran who have studied ACCA, they are quite aware of him. He used to be the basically direct manager of PACT, and he's now the chief financial officer of Gold Iran. And also, not the last, Mr. Abbas Shojai, who is the representative of ACCA in Iran. Thank you everyone for joining us today. امیدوارم که بچه‌ها امروز یه سشن خیلی خوبی براتون باشه و بتونین از این پنلیستایی که امروز اینجا هستن نهایت استفاده رو بکنیم. Now I'm just gonna hand it over to I think it's gonna be Danish if I'm not mistaken, right? Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mohammed. And hello, and I think it's the afternoon now, or almost in the afternoon, Iran. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Danish Shamsi. I believe my colleague Tahir already gave a brief intro to who I am and what we do. And today I'll be presenting a bit about our brand new tool, which is the Career Navigator. So if we just look into the Career Navigator, into the next slide, it is for the journey ahead. Whether you're a member or whether you're an ACCA affiliate or an ACCA student, the Career Navigator lets you explore potential career destinations. It lets you acquire new skills, connect with the latest jobs and talent, and if you're one of our panelists today and you work for an employer, it also lets you grow your people. If we can just move over to the next slide, please, Ahmed. Right, so it sounds great, it looks great so far, but what is the Career Navigator exactly? In simple layman's terms, the Career Navigator is an online web-based tool. So you can access it from anywhere, from your mobile phone, your desktop, or your tablet. And it's a tool designed to help our stakeholders. So whether you're a member or a future member, it helps you understand the core capabilities, and it'll help give you an edge at different stages of your career journey, whether you're a leader in the field, an expert, or you're just beginning. It helps you plan your career path by exploring career opportunities and current job roles. All of these are mapped to the ACCA qualification and to our competency framework. You can also access relevant learning from ACCA and from our partners and help develop the skills you need to achieve your short and long-term goals. If you're a future member, it can help you find your dream job or recruit the best and brightest talent by connecting with ACCA careers if you're an employer. Furthermore, it helps employers provide a capability mapping for ACCA members or finance staff even, helping develop their skills to the highest standard. If we can just move on to the next slide, please. I'll give a brief overview of the Career Navigator. So like I mentioned, it contains the capabilities needed to be a professional accountant and to progress on your career. It brings together all four of these modules, linking to the ACCA qualification and to the CPD and to the job roles of today. In turn, all of these connect to ACCA careers to help our future members find their dream role in finance. Now, the Career Navigator has been a very big project internally at ACCA. It's the culmination of, I think, 5 or 6 teams, as well as significant input from our global markets team as well. It's based on research, which has been carried out through all of these channels, and it brings together research from a lot of reports we have written. So those reports include Professional Accountant of the Future 2.0, Gen Z Groundbreakers, Career Zones, and the Purpose of the Profession. If we just move over to the next slide, please, Ahmed. Thank you. This is just a brief screenshot of what the Career Navigator looks like in action. Like I mentioned, it's a web-based tool. We're more than happy to share the link with Mohammed or directly to you So you can access the Career Navigator on our website, acccaglobal.com. If you have a chance right now, you can check it out as well by just Googling Career Navigator, and it's going to be the first thing that pops up on your search. Next slide, please. Thank you, Ahmed. And now I just want to talk a bit more about how the Career Navigator can be extremely beneficial for the future members who are joining us on today's call. Now, as we all know, an accounting qualification, and to a greater extent, an ACCA qualification, opens doors to an exciting range of career opportunities in business and finance across all sectors globally. And I think that's apparent from the panel we have today. We have representatives from Bank Pasargad and from the SNAP Group. Accountancy is a flexible and rewarding career with sustainability at its heart. So you'll be making an impact on people, planet, and profits and create a better future. In short, it's a great career choice. Plan your journey ahead using the Career Navigator. You can simply Google it or find it on our website to explore the multiple career paths and roles open to you using the skills you require from the ACCA qualification. Once you know where you want to go, the Career Navigator gets your career off to a flying start by giving you the language to impress employers, which is very important, with the skills and value you offer, and connects you to a live job or an opportunity linked directly to ACCA careers. So again, a very powerful tool. As your career progresses, of course, and remember the Career Navigator is not only for people starting their careers, but for people progressing through their careers as well. Our Career Navigator keeps you on track, ready for the next opportunity by recommending the latest, relevant, and most up-to-date professional learning development opportunities. Now I'll just briefly go over some of the key benefits for our members. So the Career Navigator, if we can move to the next slide, please, Emmett. Just the next one, please. Right. So it offers a clear view of their role and career pathways and the skills, knowledge, and behaviors required to be competent at each level. The Career Navigator provides a self-assessment tool to identify skill gaps to help individuals plan and advance their careers. It also helps demonstrate your capability to current and prospective employers. For all of our company partners, all of our employer partners, the Career Navigator provides a single roadmap for large firms and medium firms to build a future-ready workforce, ensuring the right capabilities are in place at different levels and across functions. It also helps employers look into their staff and help identify skill gaps. You could better use this to intervene and inform staff on where they need to go next in their career. It helps demonstrate to regulators a commitment to people development and also a commitment to ethics. And it supports performance management and recruitment by linking, again, to ACCA careers, and it has a capability to facilitate mentoring and coaching conversations. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much. Thanks, Danish. Apologies, I couldn't unmute myself earlier. But thank you very much for taking everybody through to the Career Navigator. I would strongly encourage all of our attendees, including our panelists, to really take this opportunity and engage with this really important tool, because you'll find it's very beneficial. A large proportion of the Career Navigator is also linked into ACCA careers. So if you were on the lookout for opportunities, not just in Iran, but even outside Iran or anywhere in the world, this would be the right platform for you to do so. So thank you very much, Danish. We will be sending across the links to the video as well as the the actual Career Navigator portal, just for everybody to be able to access it easily. Right. So with that, I think we're coming to the highlight of the session today. This is going to be a very important talk, and I am certainly looking forward to it. So over to you, Abbas and Mohammed. Just if you wanted to start navigating everybody through, all of our panelists through the questions. Just before we start, I just wanted to really quickly check: have we managed to get all of our panelists in, Mohammed?
No, we are still struggling for Mr. Zamani. So, I mean, he's still trying, but if it doesn't work, I think I'm going to bring him in through my phone so he can just have his opinion basically live on the phone, but it's not happening. I mean, he's been trying, but it doesn't work for now.
No problem. I mean, we appreciate there are always glitches with technology. As advanced as technology can get, it can still sometimes, you know, sort of put us in a very difficult situation. So, Abbas, if I can request you to put Mr. Zamani's question right to the end, and if we proceed with, you know, the all of our other panelists. In fact, I've just seen Mr. Zamani pop up. So, yeah. Hello, Mr. Zamani, and welcome. We're glad you're able to make it.
Hello, everybody. I'm not sure that you are hearing me.
We can, yes, we can. Very well. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Right. So, Abbas, I'll hand over to you, and good luck. Looking forward to this discussion.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to see all the panelists are here now, and we can start the session. Let's first of all start with the first panelist, who is Mr. Gul Mohammadi. Mr. Gul Mohammadi, can you hear us, please? Mr. Gul Mohammadi?
Yes, hello everyone. Yes, hello everyone. Good morning.
I wanted to put a couple of questions to you that if you would be kind enough to answer them, I'd be very pleased. The first question I'd like to ask you is about the how necessary do you think an accountancy qualification, first degree or master's degree, will be for a finance leader in 3 to 5 years' time? Could you please give us a sort of idea or some sort of answers?
Well, before going to the question, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the attendance, and please accept my sincere apology upon my video issue. There is a poor connection, maybe. About the question, yeah, in my opinion, the first degree will not be very useful for a finance leader in 5 years' time. However, the master degree will. I think the CFO needs a master degree or advanced part of accounting qualification like ACCA and so on, because I think they need to have a broad knowledge and understanding of a macro environment. In other words, to be a global viewer and look at the whole picture. This will be very useful. They can lead the company they will work. The advanced and analytical view and skills like strategic performance management, as well as risk management, will be really key skills for a finance leader. These are really delivered on a finance master degree or let's say advanced part of qualification like ACCA. Let me exemplify you. Going back 2 years ago in COVID-19 crisis began, we have seen how impacted the businesses, some industry like tourism, airlines, travel agency was suffered. A good finance leader to have a good overview over the macro environment could do a preventive action and save the businesses in such a crisis. So I think the master degree and advanced part of the qualification still will be necessary for the finance leader in 3 to 5 years' time.
Thank you. That's great. Sorry, is that the completion of your answer? That's the end of it, yes?
Sorry?
That's the end of the question, the answer that you provide, yeah? So I'm going to go to the next question, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay. The next question is about very general, which could be very useful for our attendees or participants who are listening to us. And that's, as an ACCA qualified, how did the qualification help you in your professional career?
Well, I used to be an accountant about 10 years ago before starting my journey with ACCA. I was getting familiar with ACCA in my youth time, and I have a few chances, a few, let's say, choices, ACCA or other qualification. I had a dream to be a qualified accountant, chartered accountant one day. I did know well how well ACCA is providing world-class updated knowledge in accounting, and I was really lucky in that time. My employer MTN was offering the ACCA qualification to some finance guys to develop their skills. Fortunately, I was chosen, and I started this journey. Why ACCA or the qualification was important and helped me in my career ambition and career development. You know, ACCA is working and is offering a wide range of knowledges in accounting and finance, let's say financial accounting, audit, management accounting. The most important part for me, which I have an interest and I would love a lot, is management accounting. When I was an accountant, I was really interested in doing business analysis, business plan, financial planning, make a lot of cost benefit consideration. I was interested in performance management, and in that time there was a paper, business analysis. Nowadays we call it a strategic business leader and advanced performance management. Those papers impacted my skills knowledges and develop my skills knowledges. My managers see how well I was presenting a cost saving initiative to avoid cost leakages, and working in many different scenario of financial assessment, investment appraisal, and this carrying out a few cost benefit consideration for the businesses. This was really helpful and got promotion. The one were the major drivers I'm a promotion current work area, in my opinion.
Lovely, that's grand. That shows a lot of usage that you made out of ACCA qualification, which is great. I'm sure most people would appreciate what you mentioned here. And thank you for your answer and the comments you made. Thank you, Mr. Gul Mohammadi.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Before you pass it to the next panelist, sorry to interrupt you. Can we have the second part? I just checked it with the ACCA team as well. Can we have the second part of this, speaking of Mr. Gul Mohammadi, in Persian? Because we do have some potential students in the room, right, which especially about the second question. Maybe their English is not that good. So now the panelists understood what Mr. Gul Mohammadi just said. Can we have that second part in Persian as well? Just the students can benefit from it as well. We make sure.
Please go ahead. Yes, Mr. Malik.
دوباره اون قسمت دوم رو هم به فارسی یه تیکه کوتاهش رو لطفاً بگید.
چشم. عرض به حضورتون که آیه صدای من دارید قربان؟ آیه استاد شجاعی فرمودن که کوالیفیکیشن ACCA چجور کمک کرد برای اینکه بتونید به اون ارتقای شغلی و جایگاه شغلی حالا مدیریتی برسید. قبلا معرض کردم خدمتتون که اولوش 10 سال پیش من بنده حسابدار بودم و خیلی دنبال این بودم که با یک روزی حالا حسابدار رسمی بشم، چه بهتر حالا حسابدار رسمی بین‌المللی مثل ACCA، حالا CIMA که تو ایران فعالیت داشتم و آفر میدادم. خب چند تا سمینار شرکت کردم، ACCA اینترست من بود، داشتم استارت میزدم که خوشبختانه MTN برای یه سری فایننس، یعنی بچهای فایننس حسابداریش، این به قول معروف مزیت قائل شد و برای اونا گذاشت دورای ACCA رو. ببینید من از اون ابتدا از حرفه حسابداری فایننس یه حرفه خیلی وسیع و گسترده‌ای هست. خب برای بنده اون بخش تحلیلگری، آنالیز، برنامه‌ریزی مالی خیلی جذابه و حسابداری مدیریت. ACCA تقریبا میاد ببین مهارت‌های خیلی زیادی از حسابداری رو برای شما پرزنت کنه و ارتقا میده، مثل حسابرسی، حسابداری مالی و حسابداری مدیریت. اون چیزی که به بنده توی محیط کار به قول معروف ولیو اد کرد، ارزش افزوده اضافه کرد، حسابداری مدیریت بود، مثل پیپرهای پرفورمنس منیجمنت F5 یا PM الان، بیزینس انالیسیس یا استراتژیک بیزینس انالیسیس فعلی، که خیلی خیلی مهمه. من خیلی توصیه میکنم به دوستانی که حالا ACCA رو میخوان شروع کنن، حتما این پیپر رو خیلی با دقت بخونن. تمام ابعاد گسترده بیزینس رو از منابع انسانی گرفته، مارکتینگ، اسندی، جایی که شما نیاز دارید. یعنی ACCA دنبالی نیست که فقط یه حسابدار تحویل خب اون سازمان یا اون امپلویر بده. دوست داره تمام مهارت‌های شما توی مثلا مارکتینگ، بازاریابی، فروش و حتی مهارت‌های نرم مدیریتیتون رو ارتقا بده. اینو باعث شد و همچنین ادوانس پرفورمنس منیجمنت یا همون مدیریت عملکرد پیشرفته که یکی از تاف‌ترین پیپرهای ACCA بود، باعث شد اون مهارتایی که بنده داشتم توی حوزه آنالیز، تحلیلگری و حسابداری مدیریت ارتقا پیدا کنه و مدیران ما هم دیدن که چجوری من تونستم یه سری به قول معروف پیشنهادهای کات کردن هزینه ها یا سوء استفاده از هزینه و به قول معروف بالا بردن راندمان رو بدم که و باعث شد که خدا رو شکر ارتقای شغلی پیدا کنم. و چون یه بخشی از کار ما هم با هزینه‌های خارجی و فارکس درگیره است، خیلی آنالیز در این قسمت انجام دادیم که تونستیم خیلی از هزینه‌ها رو هج کنیم در رابطه با، میدونید که ما توی کشوری داریم کار میکنیم که خیلی با نوسانات ارز بالا پایین میشه هزینه ها، مخصوصا اپراتورهایی که بخشی از هزینه هاشون توسط خارجی یا خدماتشون توسط خارجی انجام میشه. این شرکت هاوی اریکسون که ما باید هزینه‌های خارجی اونا رو مدیریت کنیم. این پیپر ACCA به من خیلی کمک کرد، خیلی نالج داد، اون مهارت هایی که میخواستم یاد گرفتم و کمک شایانی که توی ارتقای شغلی من. در خدمتتون هستم. بازم
Thank you very much, Mr. Gol Mohammadi. You did a great job in both Farsi and English. Thank you. Right, now we go to Ms. Rahmani, who's actually the next panelist on the list. And I know her very well. She's one of the prize winners when she was studying ACCA at Pasagat University. He became one of the students who was one of the prize winners in the Middle East region. I'm very proud that she's here with us at the moment. And I'm going to ask two questions, if you don't mind, Ms. Rahmani, from you. Are you ready now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, I'm ready. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Lovely. Hello, Ms. Rahmani. And the first question I want to ask. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you're fine. You're fine with us. The first question I was going to ask you is about the fact that from a business perspective, how has COVID-19 changed the role of a finance professional? And do you think ACCA changed the qualification to address these changes? For example, EPSM, digital data, etc. Can you give us an answer for that, please?
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm so delighted to be invited to join this channel. Let me thank ACCA Middle East team for providing this program. And about your question about coronavirus, all of us know that the coronavirus is the largest threat to the global economy since the financial crisis of 2007 and has confronted companies with new operational challenges. I think that COVID-19 has changed the role of finance professionals from two sides. One of them is changing the accounting and finance processes through adopting new technologies like remote working, distance working infrastructures, and in many of organizations, they outsource the accounting and finance activities. And many of the organizations use, for example, cloud computing technology, business apps, video conferencing, mobile tools. And all of us know that in this time, using new technologies has some benefits for the organization as it raises the efficiency, productivity, but also it have, I think, major challenges for the CFOs. For example, they should provide a safe working environment, or the problem of safeguarding data is very important for the CFOs, and also how to motivate staff, how to train and develop staff in remote working. And another important thing is that how they can assess the productivity of the staff and the human capital of a company. And the other challenges I think that CFOs are engaged is that the team interaction and the interaction of finance department with the other department in the organization when they work remotely. So I think that finance managers should implement new approaches to solve these challenges, like using time tracking softwares, create to-do lists, and etc. Secondly, the second effect of COVID-19, I think, is that the increase of risk of global recession. All of know that many companies struggle with low profit, low liquidity, broken supply chain, plant shutdowns, loss of production, or longer delivery time. These are the problems that the companies are struggling, or high financial risk, high financial kinds for refinancing expiring bonds or loans, and etc. So I think that coronavirus represents a significant risk of going concern for the companies, and finance professionals should focus it and have a business continuity management plans and liquidity management agile strategy that is change the role of finance professionals. I think that the accountant and finance professionals should focus on ongoing analysis of the short-term liquidity, which is very important for the company, scenario planning, sensitivity analysis, and implementing a stress test for the company's rolling assessment of going concern for the board of directors. The ACCA can help finance professional to do these activities. And the other important thing that we are in the era of digital economy. We are in the era of digital revolution, digital transformation. We are in the gig economy, in the age of new technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, big data analysis. We are in these ages. So professionals need digital skills and digital competency, especially data analysis. Finance, finance industry is changing. Robots and algorithms join finance workforce. And also we should integrate freelancers and gig worker in the finance industry. Finance professionals should help board manager in decision making, in a business transformation and automation. In this regard, I think ACCA qualification changed very much when I compare it with 2012 or 2013 when I was studying. When I compare it, I see that ACCA has changed the qualification to meet these changes very probably, especially in professional level. For example, in the strategic business leadership course, we can see the effect of digital transformation in business processes, in business strategy, e-commerce, digital marketing, and also in the ethics module, the importance of big data analysis, using technology effectively, or the other papers like advanced financial management, new risk management tools, and in the advanced performance management course, we see that new measures and new indicators that the manager should measure and assess regularly. So I think it's an advantage for ACCA qualification that has updated their syllabuses with rapid environmental change.
Thank you very much. It was a very comprehensive answer. You covered almost every area that you would have imagined. As an official banker, I'm sure you're very, very much involved in these issues, and you know best what is actually important about ACCA qualification. Could you please answer the second question? Thank you. The second question is about why did you stay in Iran? Being a fellow member of ACCA, why did you choose to work in Iran instead of moving abroad? I mean, obviously you have the opportunity to do so, but why did you choose Iran? Stay in Iran.
In Iran, there are a lot of large-sized companies in different industries like oil and gas, banking and finance, metals and mining sector, ICT sector, and etc. For example, I work in Bank Pasargad as a manager of R&D and a strategic planner, which is a bank, a large-sized bank, which is the winner of Bankers Award as Bank of the Year, and also winner of Islamic Bank in Iran for several years, and it is ranked as the first bank of Middle East in the measure of ROC, return on capital, and also the fifth bank in the Middle East from the ROA measure. It's a conglomerate company with holdings in oil and gas, metal and mining, healthcare industry, ICT, insurance sector, and also etc. And ACCA helped me to learn how should I develop a corporate strategy and also research on the development of new products and new business models. But I think that there are lots of big corporates in Iran that most of ACCA members have job opportunities. But one point that I want to mention in this panel is that there is the number of the international companies in Iran is very low. So maybe some ACCA members want to have connection with the international companies, for example, 4 bigs like PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, or Ernst & Young, and other big companies or large-size international companies. I really want to thank Middle East ACCA teams that provide this panel, and also ACCA Navigator that Mr. Shamsi introduced. I think we should focus it more than before and find new ways for the ACCA members to connect with international companies, or maybe some of the new members that like to have cooperation with these companies and meet new experiments with this company.
Thank you very much. If you would briefly, very briefly, just put it in Farsi, the last question on the answer to the last question I raised you, just very briefly in Farsi, so that if there are attendees who are not quite as good as yourself in English, a little bit in Farsi, please. Very brief.
Okay. سلام و عرض ادب دارم خدمت همه بزرگوارانی که توی این پنل هستن. تشکر میکنم بابت وقتی که در اختیار بنده گذاشتین. در رابطه با سوال دوم این بودش که جناب آقای شجاعی از بنده پرسیدن که چرا ایران رو انتخاب کردین برای کار و نظرتون در رابطه با این قضیه چی هستش. من مختصراً به فارسی یک توضیح خدمتتون عرض میکنم. ببینید خب من توی سازمانی کار میکنم به نام بانک ساگات که بانک اول ایران هست. از نظر مجله بانکر یک مجله بسیار معتبر و بین‌المللی هستش و رتبه اول رو در شاخص ROC یعنی بازده سرمایه خب کسب کرده توی میدل ایست. بانک که شناخته شده ای هستش و این بانک یک شرکت هلدینگی هستش که کانگلومریت هستش از صنایع مختلف، خب صنایع مدنی، صنایع ICT، صنایع در رابطه با بحث اویل اند گاز یعنی بحث حالا نفت و گاز و خیلی شرکت‌های تابعی داره که خب ما توی این هلدینگ کار می‌کنیم و این برای من باعث افتخار هستش. و میدونم توی ایران شرکت‌های بزرگ دیگه‌ای هم هستش مثل شرکت‌هایی که در زمینه نفت و گاز هستن، پتروشیمی هستن، معدن هستن. تو قسمت ICT خب ما خیلی شرکت‌های بزرگی داریم که این خب یک جاب اپورتونیتی بزرگی هستش علاوه بر شرکت‌های حسابرسی و حسابداری که مدرک ACCA رو میشناسن. این فرصت رو برای استودنت ها ایجاد میکنه که تو این شرکت ها کار بکنن و تعامل داشته باشن با این شرکت ها. ولی خب همه ACCA ممبر ها و ACCA استودنت ها شاید از این مسئله ناراحت باشن که تعداد شرکت های بین المللی که توی ایران هستن کم هستش و شاید دوست داشته باشن تو این شرکت های بین المللی فعالیت بکنن، کما که قبلا داشتیم نمایندگی از شرکت های ارنست اند یانگ، KPMG و غیره، ولی خب الان به خاطر تحریم ها وجود نداره. به نظر من یه همچین برگزاری یه همچین پانل هایی، یه همچین بحث هایی یا صحبت هایی که آقای شمسی فرمودن در رابطه با ACCA Navigator میتونه به کسانی که این تمایل رو دارن که تو شرکت‌های بین‌المللی کار بکنن و یا به جز کار میتونن یه کوآپریشن داشته باشن، یه تعامل داشته باشن یا پروژه های مشترک داشته باشن. یه همچین برنامه‌های خب قطعاً کمک میکنه علاوه بر این که افرادی که ACCA ممبر هستن توی ایران جاب اپورتونیتی های زیادی دارن، میتونن با کمک این برنامه ها و این حالا ابزارهایی که در اختیار ما قرار داده میشه کانکت بشن به شرکت های بزرگ حالا حسابرسی یا حسابداری که خب واقعا برای خیلی از دوستان تمایل زیادی هستش که تو این شرکت ها کار کنن. ولی در مجموع بخوام بگم که کورس ACCA واقعا در کار و در بینش افراد و در داشتن دانش بروز خیلی کمک میکنه. من چون خودم مسئول آرندی یعنی مسئول بخش ریسرچ این بخش هستم در بانک، خب وقتی که آخرین مطالب و بروزترین مطالب رو تو بحث دیجیتال، تو بحث‌های دیجیتال استراتژی یا اصلا کلا در دنیا اکانومی ها به چه سمتی داره میره، گلوبال رسیشن ها به چه سمتی میره، وقتی خودم کارم این هستش دارم ریسرچ میکنم، برنامه‌ریزی میکنم و میبینم که یک برای ما حالا ACCA ممبرها یک مجلدی میاد به عنوان مجله ACCA که ما مطالعه بکنیم. این مجله رو به صورت ماهانه نگاه میکنم، میبینم که آخرین مطالب بروز یعنی چیزهایی که دقیقاً میشه گفت edge of technology, edge of science، یعنی در لبه مرز علم و تکنولوژی هستش، ببینم اونجا داره صحبت میشه. واقعا مدرک معتبری هستش. من واقعا تشکر میکنم از تمام کسایی که زحمت کشیدن این مدرک ACCA رو توی ایران آوردن، این فرصت رو برای همه گذاشتن، تمام کسایی که توی این زمینه فعالیت کردن، توی این چند سال تدریس کردن، از سازمان‌هایی که حمایت کردن از این مدرک شناخته شده باشه. از همه تشکر میکنم و امیدوارم یک راه خوبی باشه برای کسایی که میخوان واقعا به صورت حرفه‌ای فعالیت بکنن. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahmani. It was an excellent and comprehensive answer. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next panelist, who is Ms. Haratian. Ms. Haratian, can you hear us, please?
Hello, everyone.
Good morning. I'm glad that you could attend the session. So I'm going to ask you the questions, two questions, if you don't mind. The first question is about the fact that in the next 3 to 5 years, how do you think the relative importance of the future finance leader will change compared to other executives in an organization? Could you please provide an answer?
First of all, I'm sorry about the problem with video sharing. I'm glad to be with you in this webinar. And the response to this question is, according to my experience over the recent years, we can see how much changes occurred in recent years in business by technology changes. And I read a research report carried out jointly by ACCA and PwC broadly about this subject. And I suggest read it. It helps me to combine my opinion and research result to answer this question. And I hope my response would be helpful for audience. As we can see, traditional business have gone through changes by the internet. People prefer to shop or transfer money online without spending time on traffic or line queues. As a result, the business model and flow of information have changed. A lot of information is aggregated and recorded in cloud base from different parts of business. Then there are many data, and it's so important to be able to use data correctly for reporting and decision making for future forecast. Finance department was the last department which received data for bookkeeping and used historical data for reporting in traditional accounting. But these days, finance will increasingly be expected to look at the future rather than the past and think strategically rather than tactically. Organizations now expect finance to be involved in decision making beyond its traditional realm. In my opinion, given the rapid changes in environments and technological advances, finance manager need to have enough knowledge in data analyzing, integration, and shifting from traditional to and historical reporting to technological and proactive reporting. This means that only the use of historical data and the preparation of financial statements is not enough for decision makers in the organizations, and future financial managers should be able to use relative internal and external information to play an important role in forecast and decision making in organization. In order to achieve these goals, finance need to develop its agility in order to support the business to develop long-term strategies for profitable growth and sustainability in a rapidly changing market. So I think future finance leader should have enough knowledge about cloud-based ERP systems and new technology, and be able to participate strongly in the organization decision making and strategy.
Lovely, that was a great answer. Thank you very much, Farnaz. Could you please answer the second question, which is about what future do you see for ACCA qualification in Iran? I mean, do you see the future to be better, even better than what it is now? Please.
Actually, with the growth of startups and online business in Iran, as well as changes in environment, economically and politically, which converts the traditional and simple business model into complicated new model, like, for example, Snap, as you can see. And I think professionals can use their up-to-date knowledge to cooperate in strategic business and decision making. In other words, by launching new business in future, there will be new challenges, so professional can use knowledge to face with challenges and finding best way to solve it. As a member, also based on what I learned in ACCA, I can anticipate many risks before they occurred, and inform the MD of the company, and also make comments and how they can resolve the or how they can eliminate the risk or remove it.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Farnaz. Could you briefly answer the last question in Farsi as well, so that our participants can be maybe aware of, if they're not good in English, you can please provide a better understanding in Farsi?
بله، من حالا بازم یه سلام مجدد میکنم و اینکه من خودم حالا یک کوچولو خارج از سوال شروع میکنم. من خودم جزو کسایی بودم که خیلی اتفاقی با ACCA آشنا شدم و اصلا به دنبال کلا ادامه تحصیل توی ایران به شکل همین دانشگاهی بودم و خیلی اتفاقی آشنا شدم و برام خیلی جذاب بود. و وقتی که شروع کردم اولین پیپرش رو پاس کردن، انقدر مطالب برام جذاب بود و احساس کردم چقدر کیفیت کتاب‌ها و بروز بودن اطلاعات چقدر متفاوته با اون چیزی که من توی دانشگاه در حقیقت در مورد حالا اکانتینگ و این چیزها خونده بودم. و واقعا بعد از اینکه ممبر شدم در خودم یه سری دانشی رو احساس کردم در من ایجاد شده که واقعا شاید خیلی بروز بود، خیلی کاربردی بود و واقعا میتونم بگم از اون روزی که من ACCA رو مدرکش رو گرفتم تغییرات خیلی بزرگی توی کار من ایجاد شده و خودم حتی میتونم ببینم که یک تئوری فقط یاد نگرفتم، یه سری استاندارد و IFRS و این چیزا فقط یاد نگرفتم، من تایم منیجمنت یاد گرفتم و حتی خیلی یاد گرفتم که چطوری با یک سناریو برخورد بکنم، چه راه حلایی وجود داره، چجوری میشه اینا رو حل کرد. یعنی به غیر از حالا یه سری تئوریا میخوام بگم خیلی آموزش‌های جانبی دیگه‌ای هم واقعا ACCA داره و میبینیم که ممبرها واقعا متفاوت فکر میکنن و توی کار حتی میشه واقعا آدم احساس کنه که یه جور دیگه ای داره به مسائل نگاه میکنه و یه جور دیگه داره موضوعات رو حل میکنه. من خودم به شخصه هر کسی که مخصوصا الان خب با توجه به شرایط اقتصادی مملکت و حالا به حال میدونیم هممون وضعیت این که خب هزینه‌ها یکم بالا رفته برای آموزش، ولی من واقعا به تمام بچه‌هایی که میخوان شرکت بکنن میگم ارزشش رو داره، سختی خودش رو داره ولی واقعا ارزشش رو داره و قطعا کسی که این راه رو طی بکنه هرگز پشیمون نمیشه و خیلی هم قطعا به اتفاقات خیلی خوبی توی زمینه کاریش براش میفته.
I agree extremely with you. Thank you very much, Farnaz. It was excellent. presentation of your views. Because of shortage of time, I'm going to quickly move to Dr. Zamani, who is the last panelist, but not the least by any means. I'm going to have Dr. Zamani asking you the first question, please, if you're ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank ACCA Middle East and also the other friends in panel and also the audiences. I am at your service. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Dr. Zamani, the question is, looking beyond the technical skills of accountancy and finance, in your view, what other professional skills should future accounting and finance professionals look to develop in the future?
Okay. It is a good question. It is talking about the skills that all of us as a finance professionals must really follow. You know, I would like to talk a little more about the objectives in our careers, all of us, you know. Frankly speaking, you know, as a professional in accountancy and finance, I see that you know, many people who are working in this area is looking for you know, promotion in the hierarchy of, you know, organizations. For example, to be a C-level manager, you know, the CEO, also being, you know, a member of board in the companies. This is, let's say, a must in our career. You know, if we are working in different companies in different organizations. Your question really is emphasizing in this area what are the skills that we do need if we want to really be successful in our career, you know, in the future. Really, I'm borrowing a concept from management literature, who is talking about different skills that we do need if we want to be successful in organizations. You know, this is, you know, a very valuable issue that really I'm sharing with our young colleagues, you know, in different sectors in finance, you know, in Iran. Frankly speaking, the finance skills, technical skills is not quite enough if you want to be successful in your job. According to the management literature, there are different kind of skills that we must empower if we want to really have a good career and you know, have a success story in our job. The most important one is conceptual skills. You know, conceptual skills is talking about you know, analyzing data, analyzing information, and also connect all the variables to predict future, which is essential in, you know, in these days in organizations. You know, the finance professionals know that, for example, budgeting is a day-to-day operations that we are dealing with in organizations. So it is essential for us to empower such skills to be successful in our job. Also, I think one of missing area that you know, the financial professionals must pay attention is human skills. It is very essential for us. You know, management is not nothing than working with people and also through people. So we are, you know, working as a team member in the organizations, and we must really empower such skills, which is related to the, you know, having effective communicating with the other people, with the seniors, you know, employees, and also subordinates, you know. So I think these kind of skills must, you know, must be brought to consideration if we want to have a better position in organizations and have a better career, you know, in the future. Also, I would like to mention another concept which is very essential for the young people in, you know, finance, which is called as a T pattern in skills and also let's say, knowledge, you know. With more than 30 years of working with, you know, organizations in Iran, international organization as well, you know, I am seeing that many finance professionals who are coming, for example, to job interview, they have quite enough technical, let's say, technical knowledge about finance. But when we are talking about the other areas like marketing and, for example, supply chain, IT, and the role of finance to help them, they are really, there are quite, let's say, there are lots of rooms to be improved if they focus on, you know. So it is better to know that we are, all of us, we are supposed to be accountant, and really we must really have in-depth knowledge regarding to the finance, but we must know about the other areas to help the organizations, to help functions in different areas. So this is my answer.
Certainly, that's great. Especially, I should add, for example, things like soft skills in professionals like myself, like auditing. Obviously, you have to have soft skills as well as other skills that you mentioned rightly is required today. Let's move on to the second question, please. As a CFO of the biggest holding in Iran, what factors distinguish the HCA members from other candidates, in your view, of course?
Okay, this is also a good question. You know, as the audiences really paid attention to the previous slides in the, you know, in the webinar, you saw that there are different structure if you want to be a qualified people, you know, in this area as a finance professional. Like the other professional bodies, you know, there are three important issues which have been addressed in ACCA, which is called as E3, you know, exam, ethics, and also the experience, you know. I think, you know, part of experience and also part of, you know, ethics can help us to boost a portion of those skills that I have mentioned before. You know, for example, if you really have this privilege to work with the companies, which really the finance has a good position in the company. So definitely your skills and also your conceptual skills, your human skills will be developed, you know. So I think this is a big opportunity for the people who are working, you know, in this, let's say, qualification, to develop their skills, which is essential to, let's say, to promote themselves. Also, as I, you know, I'm not quite updated about the subjects, Abbas, you know, but I think, you know, there are subjects, for example, like strategic business reporting or strategic business leadership. These kind of, let's say, subjects can help the people to develop their skills, specifically soft skills and also the other skills that are mentioned as conceptual and also human skills. So these are the reasons that really we strongly suggest the young people to follow such professional degrees to develop themselves.
Thank you very much. It was very comprehensive answer. Thank you. I just want to, if you don't mind, just very briefly explain in Farsi as well, the last answer, briefly, for those who may not be as fluent as yourself in English, please.
Okay. سلام و عرض ادب همه حضار و همچنین همکاران عزیزم در گلدیران که میدونم خیلی هاشون الان در وبینار هستن. من دو تا موضوع رو گفتم که البته به هم مرتبط هستن. یکی این که واقعا برای پیشرفت در کارمون مهارت فنی فقط کافی نیست. ما مهارت‌های زیادی رو باید داشته باشیم، مثل مهارت‌های مفهومی، مهارت‌های انسانی، که همه اینا برمیگرده به هر حال سوال دوم که حالا یک مدارکی مثل ACCA چه کمکی به ما میکنن. خب ببینیم مثلا نوع سوالات و امتحاناتی که برگزار میشه امتحاناتی هست که کیس استادی، امتحاناتی هست که دنیای واقع رو برای افراد میاره و اینا همه به ما کمک میکنه که به نوعی در کارمون موفق بشیم و این مهارت هامون رو افزایش بدیم. من اشاره هم کردم به این که مثل همه مدارک حرفه‌ای که اصولا روی 3 تا محور امتحان، تجربه و در واقع اخلاق حرفه‌ای هست، ACC هم روی اینها تاکید میکنه و موضوعاتی مثل تجربه، اکسپریانس و اتیکس که اینها هم به هر حال امتحاناتی داره و شرایطی داره، اینها هم میتونن کمک بکنن که اون مهارت هایی که غیر مهارت های فایننس هست بتونن رشد و در واقع توسعه پیدا کنن. خیلی خلاصه در یک کلمه بخوام بگم، اصولا موفقیت در کارمون همکاران عزیزم فقط دانستن استاندارد حسابداری و خدمتتون عرض کنم اصول متداول پذیرفته شده حسابداری نیست و ما باید توی محورهای دیگه هم به نوعی کار بکنیم.
Thank you very much. It was an excellent and comprehensive answer. Thanks a lot for all the panelists. I would like to now convey the seminar to the webinar. I mean to Tahir, who's going to explain about aspects in Iran. Please, Tahir.
Thank you very much, everyone. I believe there are a couple of questions, and firstly, I think very interesting pieces of discussions and some very valuable points that have come through. My colleague Danish is going to pick up some questions that have come in from the audiences in the chat panel. So, if you don't mind, you know, and we'll direct them to you respectively. So, Danish, over to you.
Sure thing. Hello. Right, so we have had a good number of questions come in, as well as some very friendly and nice comments as well, so thank you for those. But I will be asking the questions. Any one of the panel can feel free to pick them up if you would like. So I'll begin with this question we have here from Mohammed Reza Ahmadi Vanhari. Thank you very much for the question. It is, how will the accounting and finance position of Iran be in the near future?
Well, if I may answer that very briefly, obviously in Iran, being a country which has various resources, as we know, in not only human resource, oil and gas, etc., there's a great future for accountants in Iran, because as you know, neighboring country like ours, such as Pakistan, there is more than 20,000 students in Pakistan, I'm sure, if Tahir may agree with that. So there is a lot of scope in Iran. In a country like Iran, I think accountancy is going to be a very important area to get into, especially qualifications such as ACCA, because ACCA is a field which, as explained by Dr. Zamani, is not only accounting, it's not only finance, it's actually a lot of other matters. It teaches you a way you can plan, plan your life as well as your profession, your career, etc. So I think in Iran, there's going to be a great future for accountancy. If I've answered the questions rightly, I believe in Iran, there's a great scope for accountants in the future, because we haven't appreciated accountants in the past. As I lived in England many years ago as a student there and working in a firm of auditors, I realized that even the partners in our audit firm were actually who are chartered accountants like ACCA, but they were also members of parliament in England. So it shows how important accounting profession is. In fact, in a high level decision makers in any country. So I think there's a great future for accountants, especially in Iran, which is maybe not as developed as it should have been up to this stage.
Okay. Thank you, boss. We had one question just come in right now, which is, what's the difference between the Iranian accounting standards and ACCA accounting standards?
Well, if I may again answer this, because I teach IFRS, as you may know, so I'm quite aware of the international financial reporting standards and Iranian accounting standards. There is actually Iranian standards are going towards converging to IFRS. They're becoming very much international. The latest standards, number 35, 36, 37, are exactly translation of international standards like IFRS 7, IS 32, and IS 12. So what I'm trying to say is that Iran standards are going and converging with IFRS as it's going at the moment. But obviously there is differences in the, which is, previous Iranian standards were not quite compliant with IFRS. But the recent ones are going exactly as IFRS goes. Similar to what happens in India. As you may know, in India, there's actually Indian IAS, international Indian standards, which are based on IFRS as well. So in Iran, it's going to be the same route, I believe. So soon, not too far in the future, Iranian standards are going to be very much compliant with IFRS. International standards, I mean.
Great. And one last one, which I can quickly answer. How will ACCA improve employer awareness in Iran about the value of ACCA? Very good question. As you can see from the panel we have today, we have representatives of a lot of the major companies in Iran joining us today, and a lot of these individuals and professionals are ACCA members themselves, or have some form of affiliation with ACCA, or know about the value of ACCA. What we are doing a lot in Iran, and we have done a lot this year, is we have made a lot of our employers in Iran approved employers. That means we give them an ACCA stamp of approval, recognizing their stringent learning and development or professional development policies in place. By becoming an approved employer, ACCA members and students then have a competitive edge in terms of completing CPD or fast-tracking their journey to membership. So essentially, we're reaching out to more employers and educating them on the value of ACCA. And I am very aware that we are now 10 minutes past the hour. Tahir, did you want to take it from here?
Yep, thank you very much, Danish. And just to sort of highlight some of the other questions that I've seen, I think there's a theme where students or future members are trying to also understand what goes well with ACCA qualification, what else can they get? And it's quite natural. You know, we have a lot of these conversations with young budding professionals or students. I think one point I wanted to highlight, and particularly around the benefits of pursuing a qualification like ACCA, is some of our academic partnerships. So we have the partnership with Oxford Brookes University, where, you know, after completing the first 9 ACCA exams, ACCA students have the opportunity to get a bachelor's qualification from Oxford Brookes University. I have the same bachelor's. I never went to a university. I, straight after my high school, started studying for ACCA, went to London, studied ACCA, got my bachelor's degree from Oxford Brookes University, on the basis of which I've worked in, you know, Glasgow, in the UK, in India, in Dubai. I've worked all over, even done an internship in Bahrain with, with EY. So that's the kind of value the qualification brings. If you wanted to take that a step further, we've got our partnership with University of London, which also entitles existing ACCA students to get a master's qualification from University of London. And for both these academic qualifications, you don't necessarily have to go to the UK. You can get them sitting where you are, you know, studying online with both universities. For the bachelor's, all you have to do, in addition to passing our first 9 ACCA exams, is basically do a research and analysis project. For the master's, there are 2 specific modules that you need to pass over a period of 1 year. And once you've done that, you're looking at getting a master's qualification from University of London, you know, in as little as £3,500 UK pounds. So I just really wanted to take this opportunity to highlight and answer some of the concerns coming in. That bachelor is accepted by any of the professional firms, any companies across the region. So, you know, it gives you all the possible opportunities. Great. So with that, I wanted to really take this opportunity to thank our panelists. You know, it's been a very insightful, engaging discussion. Thank you for your time and, you know, really adding the value, the charm to this session today. Just conscious of time, we really wanted to take this opportunity again to highlight some of the resources. And like I said earlier, ACCA is a journey and we are your partners. You know, we will help you get through this journey along with our learning partners that we have in every country that we operate in. When you do these exams, we appreciate that, you know, there's got a certain amount of rigor every reward that you look forward to achieving in the future, you've got to put in some work for it, and we've done some of this work for you. So we wanted to take this opportunity to highlight some of the resources that we have available, share some critical updates. You all have very recently been, for those that are already pursuing the qualification, you've all been exposed to moving our exams from paper-based to computer-based very, very recently in Iran. And I think that move in itself is quite critical. As students who are sitting these exams, you've got to make sure that you are continually upskilling yourself, so that you are aligned to sit some of these exams. And to take you through some of those resources and signpost some of the main things that you can use to support your exam preparations, I'm going to be inviting my colleague Ahmed Bilal. Ahmed Bilal will come in and talk to you about some of the upcoming resources and share some updates. Thank you. Over to you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Tahir. First of all, I would just like to thank Abbas, Muhammad, and all of our respected panelists for such a comprehensive and useful discussion. I'm sure all the attendees must find it very useful for them. So just in the best interest of time, I'll be really quick, and I'll be taking you through some updates which we would like to share with you. So starting off with the ACCA practice test. So we have recently, in order to support our students all over the world, we have recently launched an offer for students who are studying towards their first 4 papers. So the 3 papers from the applied knowledge level and the law paper. So under this offer, you are now eligible to get free of cost ACCA practice test. Previously there was a cost involved if you want to buy a practice test just before your actual exam. But now from 7th of February until 31st of March, you are eligible to get access to these practice tests free of cost. So you must have received an email from student accountant team. And if you haven't received this email, or if you want to know more about it, just feel free to get in touch with the ACCA Middle East team, and we'll be more than happy to share further details with you. Moving on, as Tahir very rightly mentioned, I would like to take this opportunity to highlight the importance of studying with an approved learning partner. So as you're aware that, once you embark on the ACCA journey, it's not a compulsion that you study with an approved learning partner or with a simple learning partner, or you can do self-study. However, if you want to have a guaranteed success, then we would suggest that you study with one of ACCA's approved learning partners. And we have a network of approved learning partners in Iran as well. So what benefits would you have if you're studying with an approved learning partner? So definitely, if you're studying with a partner which is approved by ACCA, that means you'll be able to get access to more resources, you'll be able to get more support. So if you are getting on a new journey and if you don't know much about it, that means you need someone to guide you about these resources, and there should be some sort of constant support. So that's one of the benefits of studying with an ALP. Second thing is expert knowledge. So you will be studying with people who are actually expert of teaching ACCA, rather than just relying on self-study or just seeing videos from YouTube, or studying with a partner who's not approved by ACCA. It's better that you get on, you study with an approved learning partner, so that you are studying with an expert. Third thing, which you can miss if you are not studying with an ALP, is collaboration and network building. And as they say that your net worth is actually your network. So if you're studying with an ALP, that means you'll be able to collaborate more openly with your other peers, with your tutors, and you have the opportunity to build your network, which will eventually become handy in your future. Fourth thing is, those students, according to a survey, those students who study with an approved learning partners, they have a 25% higher chances of passing their exam as compared to students who are doing self-study. And last but not the least, studying with an approved learning partner is actually a structured way of learning, and it would help you pave your journey for your future success. So if you are having a structured way of learning, that would mean that you have more chances of passing your exam. And if you are passing your exam, you are progressing through your exams more quickly. However, if you're doing self-study, or if you're not taking proper support, that would mean you might fail an exam once or twice, that would actually hamper your progress. Moving on, we would just like to quickly share some updates regarding our exam entry model. So those of you who are already studying towards any of the ACCA exams, you know that we have recently made some changes to our exam entry model. So previously, our exam entry model was, the exam entry session was open for a 7 months period. But from June 2022 onwards, we have made some changes to our model, and now the exam entry window will be open only for 3 months. Previously, any student who wished to enter for 2 consecutive sessions, they could have, they can enter for March as well as June session, at any given time. But now the exam entry would be open for only 1 session. So if you want to enter for September, that would mean that you first have to wait for the June session to be over, and then you can enter for the September session. Previously, we had 3 exam entry windows, 3 exam entry periods, early, standard, and late, and now it is only standard and late. So we have actually taken off the early entry, because only, as per our data, only 5% of the students were making use of the early entry window. So just to make the things more simplified, we have now only introduced standard and late entry. But what does it mean that if we are making these changes, still there are things which are not changing? So what is not changing? Number one thing, we are still holding exams 4 times per year, which are taking place in March, June, September, and December. So there is no change in that. Second thing is, exam entries can still be amended or cancelled up until the standard entry. Just like previously, if you want to make any changes to your exam entry, you can do so by the standard entry deadline. And students can still book for a maximum of 4 exams per session and up to a maximum of 8 exams per calendar year. So there is no change in terms of the number of exams that you can appear per session or per year. This is, if you want to take a picture of this, this is how our future exam entry model would look like. You have everything in front of you. That one would, when the standard entry opens for June session, what is the standard entry deadline? What are the late entry deadlines? When we are going to release the results? Everything is available on our website as well. But still, if you would just like to quickly take a picture of this, so just for your quick reference, you can do so. Moving on, I'm sure if you keep a regular check of your emails, you must be aware that ACCA is introducing professional skills marks in the optional exams. So previously, they were only just at the optional level, at the strategic professional level, there were only 5 marks for the professional skills. But from September session onwards, now these marks will be increased to 20 marks, and ACCA will be ACCA will be assessing you on 4 professional skills, which are communication, commercial acumen, analysis and evaluation, and skepticism and judgment. So what would be the split of these professional marks? So if you can have a look here, that AAA, AFM, APM, and ATX, all of them, there will be 10 professional skills marks in the section A, and then there will be 5 professional skills mark per question in the section B. So this is how these professional skills will be distributed between section A and section B. So you should be careful or mindful about if you are studying towards your optional exams. So you should be, and you're appearing any of these exams in September onwards. Looking at the timelines, so these changes, we'll be making these changes in AAA, AFM, and APM from September session onwards. However, for the advanced taxation, we would be waiting until 2023 to introduce the professional skills marks. And these are our contact details. If I had to rush through some of the details, I could not go into the details in the best interest of time. But still, if you think that there is something you need some more clarity, or if you want to find out about ACCA, just feel free to get in touch with us, drop us an email, or call us, or follow us on our social media channels, and we'll be more than happy to help you with your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. Very, very quickly, I mean, Again, very conscious of time. I understand everybody has, gone over slightly, but I think these were some very, very critical points that we wanted to share with you. As students, there is a lot to benefit from. And the one last sort of thought, food for thought that I want to really leave you all existing students with is that think about, preparing for your ACCA qualification as if you are investing in your future. If we were to go to a university, if we were to go to a highly qualified academic institutions, we would definitely pay the fees they would ask. We would definitely buy the books and refer to the materials they would have recommended. So when we've got flexibility with a qualification like ACCA, yes, let's make the most of that flexibility, but think about, how you can progress through your qualification so that you can start on that journey, your career, a lot faster. By investing in yourself, I mean bring in partners on board. Study with some of our approved tuition providers because they've got the expertise. You would not go on a mountain hiking expedition without a guide, somebody who's qualified enough, experienced enough to navigate you through the different passes, etc. You wouldn't go on a, on a jungle hunt without somebody who you think you can really rely on, trust on. So this is your future. You've got to start taking, that in your hands, being a bit more serious, being a bit more committed. And everything we do is here to support you. So please take note of all of our details here. Follow us on the social media platforms. We put a lot of resources, a lot of information on there as well for you. So that is pretty much it. One piece of advice from my side. I would again take this opportunity to thank each and every one on the panel, our co-facilitators, Mr. Abbas Sujay, Mr. Mohammed Malik Mirza, my colleagues from the ACCA Middle East team for really taking the time out and helping us make this this event, the session, a good one for all of our members, future members in Iran. Mohammed, over to you just for the final wrap up.
Thank you very much, Tahir, for having this panel. You mentioned quite very important points in English. I just wanted to go through and just give the students a very brief translation of what you just said regarding the job opportunities in Iran, what ACCA is doing in Iran regarding the students and the fellow members to find job, and regarding why it is important for students to stick to the ACCA in a way that they are really passing their exams at university. I'm just going to go that in Persian, if you don't mind, to just make sure everyone understands this and just wrap it up in just less than a minute. خب این همایشی که در واقع وبیناری که امروز برگزار شد توسط ACCA داره نشون میده که انجام ثبت‌نام خبره انگلستان ACCA به فکر دانشجوهاش و ممبراش در ایران هستش و با پنلیست‌های حرفه‌ای مثل آقای زمانی، خانم رحمانی، خانم فرناز و آقای گلمحمدی، خود آقای شجاعی داره نشون میده که داره با سازمان‌ها و شرکت‌های بزرگ صحبت میکنه برای اینکه نیازشون رو به استخدام کسایی که ACCA خوندن هایلایتر بکنه. من خودم با آقای زمانی که صحبت می‌کنم چندین بار این موضوع گفتن که چقدر مهمه که این دانشجویان بیان و تو این شرکت‌های بزرگ مشغول کارشن، چون یه دغدغه‌ای که همتون داشتید بود که خب چی میشه، آیا ما در ایران میتونیم کار بکنیم؟ ما این عزیزان رو امروز دعوت کرده بودیم که به شما بگیم بله ACCA میدل ایست در ایران داره فعالیتش رو میکنه برای پیدا کردن کار و با شرکت‌ها داره قرارداد می‌بنده. این یه موضوع خیلی مهم بود که طاهر اومد در واقع بهش اشاره کرد و همینجور بقیه پنلیست‌ها. موضوع بعدی این هستش که طاهر خیلی به نظرم مهم بود گفت، این بودش که شما باید برای خودتون اینوست انجام بدید، باید برای خودتون سرمایه گذاری کنید و این سرمایه گذاری در ایران با توجه به پنلیستایی که امروز داشتیم شاید مدرک ACCA بهترین مدرکی باشه که بتونه شما رو توی این موضوع کمک بکنه. همونجوری که دکتر زمانی گفتن فقط مدرک کافی نیستش، تکنیک‌های دیگه هم شما باید در کنار آن چیزی که یاد میگیرید داشته باشید که ACCA داره این رو آفر میده. I just have the very some of explanation about what happened, Tahir. I would like to thank ACCA Middle East, especially you. I know it has been a long time that you have put your effort to arrange this webinar. I really thank you in Iran, and we really thankful for your support towards the ACCA as well as the members. I would like to thank Mr. Shojai, Mr. Zamani, Ahmad, Bilal. He's been doing so much for us, Danish as well, Farnaz, and Mr. Mohammed and Ms. Rahmani for being here today with us. Thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to pass it over to you guys.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mohammed, and thank you, everyone. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Keep safe,
Thank
everyone.
you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.